Shabbat Shalom, everyone. This morning's Parsha is Parshat Beshalach, and in it we'll soon understand why that this Shabbos is not just any Shabbat. It's known as Shabbat Shirah, the Sabbath of Song. In the middle of this morning's Parsha in Beshalach, after Bnei Israel successfully gets its way across Yam Suf, the Reed Sea, and the Egyptians perish in the water, Moshe and Bnei Israel spontaneously start singing a song of praise and thankfulness to God. And soon afterwards in that song, we also hear Miriam and the women of the Kehillah gathering up timbrels and tambourines, and they sing a song as well. Hence the idea of Shabbat Shirah. And when you look at the Parsha and you look at the text itself, you'll notice that the text of the song is set apart from the rest of the narrative. And it also has a unique tune, a unique trope to it, to indicate the fact that we're now reading poetry, we're now reading song as opposed to narrative and law. So that's something to keep in mind as we read through and read through the parsha and listen to the parsha being chanted. Second, I want us to focus on a couple of things. First of all, I want us to keep in mind the two separate narratives. There's the narrative of Bnei Israel getting to the water and finding their way across the water. Then, of course, there's the song, and immediately after the song, there is the next part of the narrative, and the second half of the narrative. And I want us to take a look at, want you to keep in mind the first half of the narrative of Bnei Israel approaching the water and getting across the water, and the second half of the narrative, which is the aftermath, meaning their journey now that they've crossed the water, what they encounter. And even though they're so happy by getting across the water, they are overwhelmed with impatience, anxiety, fear, and ultimately many of them get killed when Amalek attacks. And I want us to take a look at that tension between the first half of the Parsha and the second half of the Parsha. And as you read it, try to get a sense of why these two narratives are joined. What are we trying to learn from that? And think about it, and we'll talk about it during the drasha. Shabbat Shalom.